Shaka, it seems every time I do the ESPN FC hits with you, we talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. And once again, he's made the headlines. Now, in previous times that we've spoken, the pair of us have both agreed it is a bit of a circus right now. They're trying to prepare for a new season, but this whole Ronaldo situation, leaving early from games this time, and Eric Ten Hag saying he wasn't overly happy about that. I've read a piece in the Times by Henry Winter on Tuesday. I've read stuff on ESPN FC, both saying that kind of, look, the future is Eric Ten Hag. The future is his plans for Manchester United. Ronaldo's not the future. It's time to just cut ties and move on. I agree with that. The problem is, I've also read articles that say no one wants him because there's only so many teams that could afford him and they don't want him, and other teams that would love him can't really afford him. So where does that leave us here?
It leaves us right in the middle of this high top circus that just continues. I mean, everything about it. And let's just take this week, because that's what's brought us here to discuss Ronaldo. Starts with the rather ridiculous tweet that the King plays on Sunday. He then plays a half and leaves. Manchester United's immediate response is to downplay everything, and now Ten Hag has turned around and been critical of it. First of all, let me say, to your question about what the future is, it doesn't matter around Ronaldo's age and whether he's 23 and the future or not. Ten Hag is in charge. He's the manager. And I totally understand his position, that we're a team and you stay there and you support the team. Now, you can maybe downplay this kind of an incident when things are going well, but things aren't. I can't think of a single time when things have been worse for Manchester United, just starting with the league position and the fact that they can't offer Champions League football. So now you do not need to add anything to the issues that you are having. And a player of Ronaldo's status and stature, leaving early, regardless of the circumstance, does not help. Even if you try to tell me he got permission to, it does not help him leaving. Stay there. You have more than enough problems to worry about. Don't add to it. So that being said, Ten Hag is now faced with an issue of sorts. How does he deal with it? Does he take the club line and downplay it, recognizing that many in the dressing room maybe saw it otherwise? Many who were there, those who played the game the previous day before in Oslo, might have felt it well within their own rights. Well, if he could leave, so can I. So where do you find that balance? And now you have to make your mark against not just a club legend, a footballing legend who may or may not have had permission to leave. As I mentioned, I don't think it was the right thing to do. And he's trying to get out the door. We're not quite sure whether United are really earnest in their efforts to keep him. Nobody really wants to fork out that kind of money for Ronaldo and invite this kind of pressure and focus and spotlight on their club. So it really just continues to add to the Manchester United circus. And I think Ten Hag does not have any other option but to be strong here. He has to be, because this is not about Ronaldo. This is not about the Ronaldo fans. This is not about social media and how it will be twisted and how some within the club may try to appease Ronaldo and his camp. This is about a dressing room who are looking and waiting for a new manager to show the slightest sign of weakness and in an effort to exploit. He cannot show that weakness.
Manchester United, so far, from the outside looking in, appear to have bent over backwards to accommodate Cristiano Ronaldo's requests and just try and keep him in a position where they hope that he may change his mind. It hasn't really worked so far. Is it time for Manchester United and for Erik ten Hag, based on what you've just said, show weakness? That ain't going to happen. Is it time for him and the club to play hardball with Cristiano Ronaldo, or does that not really help anybody?
Well, they have to do what's best for the club. And if Ronaldo is determined to leave, then let him leave. Let him find that exit door. But I'm not sure that exit door is there or that easy to find. But they have to be strong in who they are and who they want this club to be going forward. Because we've had this discussion before, Mark. Players in the dressing room, the slightest sign of weakness from a manager, they will take advantage of. You do not get that weakness from Sir Alex Ferguson. Never did, regardless of the players, the egos that came through that door. He was always in charge. You could probably say that may not have been the case with some of the other managers. I know that's a broader discussion. I don't mean for anybody to start shouting at me about other managers and what they did or didn't do. I'm just saying. And if you're Manchester United, you have to back your manager. If you're the manager of any football club, you cannot show weakness, because I will speak on behalf of every footballer. You show that weakness, footballers will exploit it.
A lot of words have been written, a lot of words have been spoken about this. What hasn't really been written about or spoken about just yet? While everyone else is yinging, we should be yanging. Let's look ahead. Let's give you a scenario. Transfer window closes. Many clubs would want Ronaldo, but not many can really afford him. So he's still a Manchester United player who wanted out, who wants to play Champions League football, and he's not getting his way. He is under contract. This is the key thing. You're talking about the strength of Erik ten Hag, and you're totally correct. Cristiano Ronaldo's got a year left on his contract, right? So if that transfer window closes and he is still a Manchester United player, is there a danger that his professionalism, which I don't think you can question, certainly on the pitch, is there a danger that toys could get chucked out the pram? Or would you have faith that even though he's huffy and didn't get what he wanted, i.e. a move away, if he's still a Manchester United player, when the transfer window closes, are you confident that Cristiano Ronaldo would do what he does and does very well and be an integral part of that Manchester United team, despite not really wanting to be there because he's not getting Champions League football?
I think the one thing that you can guarantee if Ronaldo stays is that he scores goals. The challenge is that also comes with Ronaldo when he's unhappy, the only field remonstrations and the throwing up of the arms and the body language that I think at times are far too much of a distraction. That given his standing within the game, given his standing and that football club, is a liability when he gets in that mood. I think there are certain clubs that could kind of absorb that and move on without much incident, without much discussion afterwards. But I don't think Manchester United right now in that dressing room are one of those clubs that just kind of accepts the remonstrations and ignores them. So that is a challenge for Ten Hag. If he can get Ronaldo, at least on the pitch, to play the part that's needed. And when I say play the part, I don't mean just score goals, because he will. I mean really bring everybody in, really be the leader that this club needs. That's the question. If he's not, if he doesn't, if it seems that he's more inclined to remonstrate when he doesn't get the ball, when things don't go his way, then you just got to leave him in the stand. You just get to absorb that hefty salary that you're paying him, and accept that this is just a down payment on moving past the era of Cristiano Ronaldo.
Interesting point that you make, about whether his behavior or on field or whatever isn't what they request, you put him in the stand. As a former footballer, Shaka, as a teammate, when you know your best player, a player that can get you your win bonuses, you might not be the star of the team, but the star is the guy who's going to help you get paid for bonuses, for whatever. Do you want him in your team, given everything that goes on, the histrionics, the circus, but he is your best player? Do you have respect for him still when he does that? Or are you backing the manager and say, you know what, we're all in this together. And if he's not, then he can sit in the stand. How are you thinking about that as a teammate of his?
Me, as a player, I'm backing the manager. I am not at all in favor of the on-field remonstrations. I am not at all in favor of you being anything but 100% committed to the game, to the team, and to your teammates. When you remonstrate as you do, you are dragging your teammates down. When somebody makes a mistake and a player like Ronaldo throws his arms up in the air, the entire focus of, at the very least in the moment, the stadium is on that player. And that's taken away from that player. And I do not believe, I do not believe or will ever support such a thing. The bigger picture to that as well is, for argument's sake, Marcus Rashford, his name comes to mind first. Let's say Rashford scores, let's say Rashford discovers his form again and scores 25 goals this season. Let's say Ronaldo moves on, and by Christmas time next season, he's got another 15 goals in the bag. And somebody plays a bad pass to him. What's stopping Marcus Rashford from throwing his arms up in the air and remonstrating in the way that Ronaldo was allowed to do 12 months earlier, if he is? There's a big picture to this as well that I think Manchester United have to be very wary of.
Final question. It's a simple one for you. We've got just less than a month of the transfer window remaining. I'm not going to ask you where you think he'll go if you do think he's going to leave Manchester United, but will Cristiano Ronaldo still be a Manchester United player when this transfer window closes?
No. I think he moves.
There you go.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.